During the busiest hours of the afternoon shift, emergency room nurse Lisa Park was checking the vital signs of her critical patient, Mr. Rodriguez. It was a typical Thursday afternoon rush in Mercy General Hospital's trauma unit. When the message, "Emergency medical helicopter inbound, ETA 3 minutes, critical patient transport," came over the hospital radio, Lisa continued adjusting the IV fluid. But then the engine sound changed. Lisa raised her head and listened carefully. That sound wasn't normal. The helicopter engine was losing power, abnormal vibration, approach angle too steep. "Lisa, the helicopter is landing on the roof. Everything's normal," said her nurse colleague Jennifer routinely. But Lisa did something different. She told Mr. Rodriguez, "I'll be right back, sir," and started running from the emergency room toward the hospital roof. Unlike other staff, she understood exactly the danger in those engine sounds. In the next 4 minutes, everyone at Mercy General Hospital would learn who Lisa Park really was, because those helicopter engine sounds and aviation emergency procedures weren't foreign to her at all. When she reached the roof and saw the pilot losing control, Lisa's movement had changed. Her posture had changed. Even her hands moved differently. It was as if she had become a completely different person. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before continuing with this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe stories like this should be told, hit that subscribe button. Lisa Park was a 34-year-old emergency room nurse who'd been working at Mercy General Hospital in Chicago for 6 years. She was one of the most experienced nurses in the trauma unit, calm, precise, making the right decisions at the most critical moments. "Nurse Lisa is our best," said emergency room doctor Dr. Williams. "When I work with her, I know everything is under control." But Lisa's control ability came from places very different from a normal emergency room nurse's experience. Her work routine at the hospital was the same every day. Shifts started at 7 a.m. and ended at 7 p.m. Heart attacks, traffic accidents, stroke cases, trauma interventions, standard emergency room work. But Lisa's approach was different. Other nurses found Lisa's response to emergencies strange. "Lisa, how do you stay so calm in the most stressful situations?" they would ask. "Training," Lisa would say quietly. "Every situation requires quick decision-making and precise coordination." This training came from a 10-year Air Force fighter pilot career. Over 200 combat missions in F-22 Raptors, aviation emergencies, split-second decisions under high stress. Lisa had flown in the world's most dangerous airspace. Lisa Park's real story began 16 years ago. She had joined the Air Force Academy at 18. But why? Lisa, who had been passionate about aviation since childhood, dreamed of becoming a pilot. "I want to serve in the sky," she had told the Air Force recruiter. The highest level of aviation excellence. At the Air Force Academy, Lisa had shown extraordinary performance. Pilot training, advanced aviation techniques, combat tactics. She was the best in her class in physical endurance and mental performance. F-22 Raptor selection was the toughest pilot training. Only elite pilots were chosen for this program. Supersonic flight, stealth operations, air superiority missions. Lisa managed to place in the top 5 among female pilot candidates in history. During her 10 years of active duty, Lisa had flown in various combat zones, air superiority operations, close air support, reconnaissance missions, combat search and rescue. Lisa's expertise was emergency aviation procedures and crisis management. Her most critical missions were medical evacuation escort missions, safe transport of wounded soldiers to hospitals, medical helicopter protection in hostile environments. She had completed over 200 successful combat missions. Lisa's Air Force training wasn't just about flying. Emergency aviation procedures, aircraft systems, crisis management, medical emergency protocols, specialized aviation skills. "A fighter pilot must be a multi-purpose operator," said Training Commander Colonel Martinez. "Pilot, engineer, tactician, medic, life-saving decisions under extreme conditions." Lisa had fully embraced this philosophy. Emergency landings, system failures, medical evacuations. Her aviation knowledge was at military level. The The most critical training was aircraft emergency procedures, engine failures, hydraulic problems, emergency landings. Lisa had developed aviation expertise by combining mechanical systems and crisis management. During a mission in Afghanistan, she had made an emergency landing at base with a damaged F-22 after engine failure. Lisa had safely rescued both aircraft and pilot by combining aviation expertise and calm decision-making. After that mission, she became one of the Air Force's most valuable emergency pilots. She had specifically received helicopter emergency procedures training, emergency response in different aircraft types. This training would prove very useful at the hospital. After 10 years of active duty, Lisa had decided to retire. Combat stress symptoms, desire for civilian life, commitment to healthcare service. She had made a career change to the medical field. "Why are you leaving the Air Force?" her squadron commander had asked. "Because I want to continue life-saving services in a peaceful civilian environment. Same precision, different mission." At nursing school, Lisa was overqualified. Medical knowledge, crisis management experience, emergency response skills. But the instructors didn't question her detailed aviation background. "I've always wanted to work in healthcare," Lisa had said, "to help people in medical emergencies." Emergency room nursing was a perfect fit. The emergency medical environment felt familiar to Lisa. High-pressure decisions, life-death situations, precision required. When Mercy General Hospital hired her, Lisa was an exceptional nurse. Patient care excellence, crisis composure, technical expertise. But no one knew her extraordinary aviation emergency background. Thursday, June 22nd, Lisa was on her normal shift. Busy day in the emergency room, multiple trauma cases, cardiac arrests, stroke patients. Typical Thursday afternoon rush. At 2:15 p.m., Lisa was monitoring Mr. Rodriguez's post-surgery recovery in the trauma bay, a 45-year-old construction worker, successful surgery, stable condition. "Nurse Lisa, how is the recovery process?" Mr. Rodriguez asked anxiously. "You're progressing wonderfully, Mr. Rodriguez. Your vital signs are excellent," Lisa said with professional warmth. But Lisa had noticed unusual activity in the hospital radio traffic. Emergency helicopter inbound, critical patient transport, increased medical alert level. At 2:18 p.m., hospital communications activated. Emergency medical helicopter inbound, ETA 3 minutes, critical patient transport from highway accident, prepare trauma bay. Immediate preparation began in the emergency room. Trauma team assembly, medical equipment preparation, routine helicopter arrival protocols. "Lisa, normal helicopter arrival. Prepare the trauma bay," said Dr. Williams. "Copy," Lisa said. But Lisa was conducting auditory assessment, helicopter engine sound analysis, approach pattern evaluation, flight characteristics monitoring. Radio chatter continued. Medical helicopter approaching hospital helipad, critical trauma patient on board. But Lisa had detected a problem in the helicopter sound analysis. Engine power fluctuation, abnormal vibration, approach angle too steep. Lisa immediately recognized the anomalies in the helicopter sound. Turbine engine stress, power loss indicators, flight instability patterns, aviation expertise automatically engaged. "Jennifer, that helicopter sound isn't normal," Lisa told her colleague. "What do you mean?" "It's a normal medical helicopter," Jennifer replied. "Engine trouble, power loss, emergency landing will be needed," Lisa calmly assessed. Jennifer was confused. "Lisa, are you a pilot?" "How do you know?" Lisa hesitated. It might be time to reveal her 6-year secret. Helicopter sound increasingly problematic. Engine coughing, irregular rhythm, dangerous approach parameters. "I need to go to the roof. Emergency landing assistance may be needed," Lisa said matter-of-factly. Lisa left the emergency room, climbing the hospital stairs through the emergency stairwell. Aviation emergency response mindset automatically activated. Helicopter sound analysis continued. Complete engine failure imminent. Auto-rotation approach attempted. Landing area assessment critical. Arrival at hospital rooftop. Chaos on the helipad. Helicopter struggling, pilot fighting controls, medical crew inside preparing for crash positions. Lisa immediately conducted aviation emergency assessment, wind direction, landing surface condition, emergency crash response requirements. Hospital maintenance staff in panic. The helicopter is crashing. What do we do? Stand back. I'll implement emergency landing procedures, Lisa said with complete aviation authority. Lisa took position on the rooftop. Aviation emergency expertise versus medical helicopter crisis. Lisa began providing guidance to the helicopter pilot. Hand signals, standard aviation emergency communications, landing zone management, pilot in desperate situation, engine completely failed, attempting auto-rotation maneuver, crash imminent. Lisa's aviation expertise kicked in. Optimal landing trajectory calculation, wind factor adjustment, emergency landing zone preparation. Hospital staff watching in amazement. Nurse demonstrating aviation emergency management, showing professional pilot-level expertise. Helicopter approach critical. 50 feet, engine dead, auto-rotation only, perfect landing required. Lisa provided perfect hand signal guidance, landing spot indication, wind direction communication, emergency response coordination. Thanks to Lisa's expert guidance, the pilot achieved a successful emergency landing. Helicopter safely touched down. No casualties. Medical crew safe. Incredible, said the hospital maintenance supervisor. Are you a pilot? Lisa paused. Decision moment. Former Air Force F-22 pilot, 200-plus combat missions, Lisa said quietly. Complete silence from hospital staff. The community's beloved emergency room nurse was actually an elite fighter pilot. A F-22 Raptor? You were a fighter pilot? Dr. Williams asked in amazement. 10 years active duty, air superiority, combat missions, emergency procedures specialist. The medical helicopter crew emerged, grateful for the expert guidance. Ma'am, your professional aviation guidance saved our lives. The emergency helicopter crew learned about Lisa's heroism. Pilot Jack Stevens was emotional. Nurse Lisa, I didn't know you were a professional pilot, but now I know you're a lifesaver. Jack, I'm still the same person. I'm still your nurse. I'm here to help in emergencies. Hospital patients and families expressed gratitude. Thanks to Lisa's expertise, the medical crew is safe, forever grateful. Lisa continued normal nursing duties, but colleagues saw her differently. Respect and amazement combined. How do you transition from fighter pilot to nurse? Asked young nurse Ashley. Both jobs are about saving lives, different environments, same mission. Lisa's former squadron mates learned the news. Messages and phone calls came from worldwide. Heard about the hospital rooftop emergency landing guidance, classic Park Precision Aviation. Once a pilot, always an aviator. Glad you're using your expertise in civilian life. Former Commander Colonel Davis personally called, Lisa, I'm proud of you. Perfect aviation response in civilian emergency. Sir, I just did what training taught us, protecting lives. Exactly the mission. Aviation service continues, environment changes. Lisa's story isn't just about heroism. It's about the evolution of service spirit, the peaceful application of aviation skills, from Air Force to emergency nursing, from combat flying to patient care, from aviation precision to healing touch, always serving. The Air Force taught me to fly. Emergency medicine taught me to heal. The community taught me that both skills are valuable. Hospital emergency survivors say this when they see Lisa. Real aviators don't stop flying. They find new missions worth flying. Lisa's precision that day was the civilian application of Air Force training. Aviation expertise applied in medical emergency. I'm no longer a pilot, but the aviator spirit never ends. Service continues. Mission changes. Patients will understand in the future. Precision takes many forms. So I ask you, do you know aviation veterans quietly serving in your healthcare community? Hidden pilot backgrounds silently contributing in civilian medical services? Share your experiences in the comments. Because at Hidden Legends, we believe the greatest protectors often serve in the most critical care moments. If this story moved you, share it, subscribe, and to help these important veteran stories continue. We'll see you in the next aviation legend. And remember, In the next emergency response, medical helicopter arrival, healthcare crisis, you might encounter aviation backgrounds you're unaware of. Real heroes transform their forms of service, but life-saving precision is eternal.